and I will come from my house to your house. And so here I am in my office and what I call my eagle room. And you probably, I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but there's eagles everywhere. That's our logo, and that's the symbol that God gave me for my faith many, many years ago. And everybody that know me knows there's three things I tell you every time I say something about the eagle. I would tell you that I love the fact that the eagle can fly under a storm. I love the fact that an eagle can fly through a storm. And I love the fact that the eagle is the one bird that has the ability to fly above a storm. And here we are, my sisters and brothers, in one of the darkest, most desolated times in history, dealing with this pandemic. And I believe that God right now is looking for some people that have enough faith that will weather the storm and know that he may not come when you want him, but that he'll always show up on time. I want to thank everyone that tuned in on last Sunday. I want you to know that, of course, this is what we call Holy Week, and it's going to be quite different this week. But as far as for myself, I'm going to get up early Sunday morning, as I have done for so many years of my life, and I'm going to I'll be at the church, and I'm going to have 6 o'clock service with me, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, and I'm going to invite all of you all to get up and watch with me for an hour of power. Our service will start at 6 o'clock. I have a song in my heart, and I have a word that God has given me from on high. And then once we finish that first service, that early morning service, I want you to roll back over and get your sleep, and then get back up and help me celebrate Resurrection Sunday again at the 9 o'clock hour. I'm going to come right back at you one more time. I want to take a moment on the very front part of the broadcast, and I want to thank all of these new markets that are tuning in. I want to thank all those in Alabama. I want to thank all those in New York, those in Chicago, those in Detroit and Michigan. I want to thank those in Dallas. I want to thank those in Baltimore. Let me see. I want to thank those in New Jersey. I want to thank all of those in Denver, up in Colorado area. So grateful to have you. I want to thank those in Virginia. Thank God for you for watching. I want to thank all those that watch across the waters. I think Sunday we tapped into 3 or 5 different countries, places across the water. And I believe for the first time we even tapped into Sweden. And so I want to thank all of you all, Germany, all of you all that are watching from wherever you are. I'm truly honored and humbled, and just so blessed to have you tuned in. Also, I want to send a very special prayer out, and I want you to know that I've been praying for you. All those that are on our front line, to the doctors, to the nurses, to the paramedics, to the firemen, to the police, to all those that's working in the hospitals, any form of our medical institution. And I also want to thank all those at the grocery stores, those that are working on jobs that our government deem essential. I want to thank you because I know it's a risk for you to get out every day and be amongst hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people in our public. But the church is praying for you. We're praying for your divine protection, praying that God will keep you and that God would cover you. Now, to my Wings of Faith audience, it goes without saying, but I was screaming from the mountaintop. I'm missing me some you. Yes, I am. I am missing every deacon, every mother. I'm missing every usher. I'm missing my praise team, my choir. I am missing you, all of our congregation. I am missing you, to the keepers, to the finance officers, to security, to media, everybody that it takes to make up our ministry, our nurse ministry, all of that. Our dance ministry, I am missing you, I promise you. But we will get through this. I'm quite sure there's going to be some modifications made whenever it's lifted, as far as how we attend church again and the numbers that we'll have. But I believe we'll get back together real soon. And I just want you to stay encouraged, want you to stay empowered. And I'm trying to keep you equipped because whatever you do, you cannot turn loose. You cannot let go. And please remember, if a day should come that you cannot face your facts, that's when heaven is expecting you to just simply face your faith. Please do not allow this hour to make you make your problem bigger than your problem solver. Because believe me when I tell you, God sits high and God looks low, and He knows just how much we can bear. There's somebody out there today, and you know this, but these trials are trying you. Maybe the experience is wearing you down. And I just want to remind you that when things get weak, when things get weary, when the day become dark and dismal, I just want you to keep this in your spirit and be mindful that the God we serve is a way maker. Now, right there where you are, if you're sitting on the sofa, if you're sitting on the couch, if you're in your favorite recliner, again, if you're in the kitchen, around the table, wherever you might be, you have the right now to help me just enter into a moment of worship. I'm not going to bother you, not going to hold you long. But I do want to remind you of this, that the God we serve, that He is a way maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. Our God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. Our God, that is who you are. I know you to be a waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. Our God, that is who you are. You waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. Our God, that is who you are. Yeah, waymaker, miracle worker, waymaker, miracle worker, a waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. Our God, that is who you are. I searched all over, couldn't find nobody. Searched high and low, still couldn't find nobody. Nobody greater, nobody greater, nobody greater than you. Yes, I searched all over, I couldn't find nobody. I searched high and low, I still couldn't find nobody. Nobody greater, couldn't find nobody greater. Nobody greater than you. You are my strength. I feel you now, God. Strength like none other. Right there in your home, just say, strength like none other. What does He do, Bishop? Reaches for me. And you are my strength. Yeah. Strength like none other. Strength like none other. and reaches for me. Yeah, oh, in the fullness of your grace, and in the power of your name, you lift me up. Yeah. You lift me up in the fullness of your grace, and by the power of your name, you lift me up. You lift me up. You are my hope, yeah, hope like none other. Thank you, Lord. Hope like none other. That's what you got to say in these times. Reaches for me, and you are my peace, yeah, peace like no other. No, peace like none other. What does he do? Reaches for me, and it reaches to the highest mountain, and it flows to the lowest valley. Oh yeah, all the blood that gives me strength, yeah, from day to day, hey, it will never lose its power. Hallelujah. Come on, come on, come on. How many of y'all know? How many of y'all know that the blood will never lose its power and that the blood still works? Listen, I told you that this was, as you all know, that this is what we call Holy Week, and we are preparing for our great resurrection Sunday. And I was thinking about this, and I allowed my mind to take a stroll, as Dr. C.L. Franklin would say, JW, back down memory lane. Allowed my mind to take a stroll back down memory lane. And I thought about a conversation I had many, many years ago with my mom while she was living. An awesome, awesome woman of God, awesome woman of faith. Had one of the most anointed voices I've ever heard in my life. And but my mom told me a story. And I don't know how many of you all have heard this story. But this story really changed my life. And it helped to shape me, fashion, form me to who I am today. And I want to just take a minute and share this with you, and then I'm going to give you a quick inspiration, and I'll turn you loose. But like I said, I don't know if you all heard this story before. And everyone that knows me knows I struggle with pollen, so these are challenging times vocally. But she told me this story, and I don't know if you heard it. I don't know if your mom told it to you. I told it to my child. But as I allow my mind to take a stroll back, I'm reminded of this. My mama told me a story about a man from glory, yeah, came all the way from heaven down, disabled wretch like me, yeah. My mama told me a story, yeah, about a man from glory. She said he died, but he rose again, so I could be free. Y'all ever heard that? I'll tell you again. My mama told me a story, yeah, about a man from glory. She said he came from heaven down to save a wretch like me. My mama told me a story about a man from glory. She said he died, but he rose again, that I might be free. So glad I heard about a story about a man from glory. She said he came from heaven down to save a wretch like me. And then my mama told me a story about a man from glory. She said he died, but he rose again, that I might be free. And I'm so glad I heard about a story all about this man from glory. She said he came from heaven down, save a wretch like me. Yeah. My mama told me a story about a man from glory. Said he died, but he rose again. Said he died, but he rose again. She said he died, but he rose again, that I might be free. Oh, come on now. I believe somebody done heard that story. God bless you. Listen, here we are in the midst of Holy Week, and we know that this was the week that Christ had what I call a weary Wednesday, a terrible Thursday. I believe he had a frightening Friday, and a sure enough sad Saturday before he got to a shouting Sunday morning. Let me say it again. I believe he had a weary Wednesday. I believe he had a terrible Thursday. I believe that he had a frightening Friday that led into a sad Saturday, but brought all us together on a shouting Sunday morning. Now, between that Wednesday and that Sunday morning, between the time that they cried out, crucify him, and the time that he got up with all power in his hand, there was an episode that permeates and proliferated from a hill called Calvary. And we find that Jesus was nailed to a cross. And as he goes on this cross, after being nailed to the cross, the record says that Jesus spoke 7 sayings, spoke 7 words. We even call them, theoretically speaking, we call them 7 cries. There were 7 cries from the cross. And when you really analytically discern and break that down, exegete that, you'll find that the Lord kind of gives us an example on how to handle the cross. He gives us some light. He tells us how to be a light in a dark hour. And he gives us some hope when we feel hopeless. And the cross and how he handled the cross kind of tells us how we can find help when we feel helpless. And these 7 cries, these 7 words, these 7 sayings from the cross are expounded and speculated every year just about this time. And so, seeing that we now are having to bear our cross, seeing that it's become very dark and dismallic in our day, I'd like to take just a few moments and remind you of what Jesus said over some 2,000 plus years ago toward the ending of this week. The 7 sayings, the first saying that he had, first thing that he said was, he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Then he tells the thief that today thou will be with me in paradise. Then the third thing he does is he looks down at his mother and says, woman, behold thy son, son, behold thy mother. Then the fourth thing he does is he says, Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? The fifth thing he does is he cries, I thirst. The sixth thing he does is he says, it is finished. And then the last thing he does, the last cry, the last saying, the last word was, Father, into thine hand I commit thy spirit. So what I want to do is take a few moments here and just share with you just a brief summary, just a quick tidbit, as old folks would say, just a tidbit, just a quick synopsis of the conclusion or conclivity of these 7 cries. Because I believe that there were 7 cries and that each cry has its own label, its own category, its own content. What do you mean, Bishop? Well, watch this. I believe that the first cry was what I call a forgiving cry. I believe the second cry was a favoring cry. I believe that third cry, that third cry, I believe that was what I call a family and friend cry. I explained that to you. I believe that fourth cry was a forsaken cry. I believe that fifth cry was a fervent cry. I believe that sixth cry, that sixth word, was a finishing cry. Oh, my sisters and brothers, I believe that that last cry was a farewell cry. Let's go back to word number 1. I'll take about 2 minutes apiece on each, and I'll turn you loose. What do you mean, Bishop, when you say a forgiving cry? Because as he hung suspended between time and eternity, the Bible says that the first word that he uttered from the cross was, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Now listen, my sisters and brothers, I don't know if I could have done it. I don't know if you could have done it. I wouldn't bet that none of us could have done it at that point, but Jesus did it. He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. The first thing I noticed was, I noticed that he called him Father, that he took the position, what I call the paternal position. He speaks to him based on sonship, out of his relationship. He says, Father, Daddy. He says, Father, he makes an appeal. He says, Father, he says, forgive them. When he says forgive, what he's really saying is, from that word after me, he was saying, release them. He was saying, pardon them. God, release them, pardon them. He was saying, dismiss them. He says, forgive them, release them, pardon them, dismiss them. In other words, Daddy, don't hold the penalty of their crime against them. I know they're guilty, but don't punish them. I know what they've done, but can we take away the disciplinary action that they are deserving of? Now think about this. Jesus says, Father, forgive them, and then he gives God a reason to forgive them. He says, and for us, we can't rationalize this. This is what he said. He says, Father, forgive them. He says, for they know not what they do. Please don't be offended when I say this. Jesus says to the Father, forgive them because their actions was out of ignorance. One, they don't know who I am. See? And two, they don't really understand yet why I've come. They don't know who I am. They don't know why I've come. They don't know that I'm their greatest blessing and their greatest benefit. So their actions are subject, I believe their actions would be subject to change if they knew the full story of what Calvary is going to ultimately be about. And so watch this. He says, Father, forgive them. Well, who is them? Well, them has to be the Sanhedrin Council. It has to be the Pharisees. It has to be the Sadducees. Them has to be Judas, right? Them has to be the soldiers that met him in Gethsemane. Who is them? Them has to be everybody that he healed, everybody that he worked a miracle for, that didn't show up at the cross. He says, Father, forgive them. So who is them? Them has to be the people that shouted, what did they shout? They shouted Hosanna one day and then shouted crucify him the next day. So who is him? Well, who is them? Them has to be the ones that cried out for Barabbas to be free and for Jesus to be crucified. Father, forgive them. The soldiers that had lashed him all night long, the soldiers that slapped him, that spit in his face, those that stripped him of his garments. Forgive them. Those that ridiculed him as he walked down the Via Dolorosa carrying the patibulum bar. Forgive them. The soldiers that kicked him, that pushed him, that shoved him, that spoke all manner of things against him. Father, forgive them. Those that are hurtling words of defamatorial expressions toward me. Father, forgive my haters. Forgive those that are trying to do me wrong. Those that have mishandled me, mistreated me, that are purposely trying to wound me and hurt me. Jesus says, Father, forgive them. That's a forgiving word. My sisters and brothers, one of the greatest levels of maturation as a child of God is when you come to that place in your life. Hallelujah. I'm going to lean in. I'm talking to you. When you come to that place in your life that you can forgive the unforgivable. When you can forgive, listen, I'm not telling y'all what I heard. You know what? I almost jumped up out this chair just then. I'm not telling y'all what I heard. I'm telling you what I've had to live. I'm telling you, there comes a point in your walk with God that you got to forgive who lied on you, who mishandled you, who mistreated you, who hurt you, who wounded you, those who purposely did you wrong. You got to forgive the person that took their foot to try to hold you down, those that scandalized your name, those that came against your character. You got to forgive those that have spent every moment, every hour trying to damage you. You got to forgive them. Yes, I know it's difficult, but you got to forgive them. 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 Because if you don't, what'll happen is that anger will turn into a hatred like a cancer, and it'll eat away at you on the inside, and it's not even worth it. Listen, I don't have any malice in my heart. If I go to the window of memory, pull up the blinds of retrospect, look back down that long road behind me, everybody on my journey, I have forgiven. I've gone to God and said, God, I've let it go. I've turned it loose. Because I don't want to bust hell open holding on to anger and malice when at the end of the day, truth be told, most people that have hurt you didn't really know who you were. They didn't really understand the anointing on your life, the Elohim on your life, the wind of God that blows in your life. They didn't really understand the favor on your life. They didn't even really understand that you was the one getting the glory, but it was because God had given you the story. They didn't even understand. You showed up and God fought the battle. They didn't even understand that even though you're blessed, They're mad at you over what God did for you. First word, he says, Father, forgive them. Because truth be told, they don't know who I am. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Forgiving word. Second word, a favoring word. There's two thieves hanging on the cross. One is on the left and one is on the right. Christ stands in the middle. So you got three men on a hill called Calvary. One man dies saving. One man dies lost. One man dies saved. One man dies looking up. One man dies looking down. One man dies looking around. Wow. 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 One man dies reaching. One man dies receiving. One man dies rejecting. I could do this all night, so I'm going to leave it alone. So here we go. So you got three men on the cross, okay? One man, theologians believe that the thief on the right leaned over to Christ in the middle because the man in the middle was the man, all right? Leaned over, looked at the man in the middle and said, when you come into your kingdom, remember me. Now, the one on the left, he's been spewing all type of toxicities. He says, well, if you're really Jesus, you're really the Son of God, why don't you come down and save yourself? You save others, and yet yourself you can't save. Come down and save yourself. And he's jawing at Jesus, and he's rejecting Jesus, and he's ridiculing Jesus. And the one on the right says, listen, man, we're up here out of our due justice. We deserve to be here. But Christ has done nothing. And he looks at Jesus and says, when you come into your kingdom, remember me. Now watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Ministers that's watching, watch this. Here's why I call this a favoring cry. Because Jesus looks at the man and says, well, when I come into my kingdom, today thou will be with me in paradise. Today, thou will be with me in paradise. So Jesus saves the man instantaneously. He welcomes the man in. He opened the doors of the church. He stops dying. Great point. Jesus stops dying long enough to open the doors of the church. The doors of the church open for the first time. He opens the doors of the church. His first convert comes in. He says one thing, remember me. He opens the doors of the church on Calvary, right? Watch this. I'm getting excited. Y'all forgive me. Because I fell in love with preaching a long time ago, and then preaching fell in love with me. You know, so here this is. Watch this, watch this, watch this, watch this. And Jesus said, today thou will be with me in paradise. Now here's what's really profound about this. You ready? This man ends up in heaven. When all of us get home, when all of us get to heaven, we're going to meet this man. He's probably going to be at the gate, part of the welcoming committee, telling us to come on in. But now watch this. Watch this. For all of you all that's really down on all these ceremonial things that we have at our churches. Here is a man that goes to heaven. You ready? He never got baptized. He never took communion. He never joined the church. There's no record that he ever praised God in the temple. Never sacrificed in the synagogue. He's not a tither. He never gave an offering. Never gave the pastor, the prophet, a love offering. Y'all done got to say that. I can't hear y'all. Preach, Drapers. That's what I come to do. Listen. Listen now. This man never sung a song in the male chorus. Never handed out a bulletin with the usher board. Never stood with the security team. You hear what I'm saying? This man never, he was never ordained as a deacon. He never gave a witness. Nobody ever saw the man lift his hand and give God a praise. He never bowed his head in worship. It's no record that he ever prayed a prayer. Come on, somebody. But this man goes to glory. Can I get a witness? How did this man get in glory? I can imagine Gabriel asked him. I had a song I wrote one time. It's called Remember Me. Remember Me. The thief on the cross. And that's all he said, remember me. I can imagine that Gabriel stood at the gate, opened up the book of life, and couldn't even find the man's name. He couldn't even find the man's name. He said, wait a minute, what day did you get born again? Who baptized you? When did you call on the name of Jesus? Couldn't even find the man's name. So how you get in heaven? Because when the favor of God is on your life, you get in places you're not supposed to be in. You get blessings that you haven't earned, that you haven't worked for. And that's all that happened. Jesus himself decided to favor this man. And what was his gift? He received the gift of eternal life. All because this man asked Jesus one question. Really, we can sum it up in 2 words. Remember me. And my sisters and brothers, there's somebody watching me right now, and I'll stop by to tell you. If you don't tell Jesus anything else, listen, with all this that's going on, I'm sitting in my Eagles room, and one of my blinds are open. I'm looking out my window, and my mind is gazing the world we live in. All this is going on, and we on lockdown in our houses, and all this is going on, and people are dying from the COVID-19, and all this is going on, and people are struggling right now to stay safe and healthy, and all this is going on, and people are losing their jobs left and right, and all this is going on, and the world is going mad. There ought not be one person that haven't told the Lord in this season, remember me. Remember me, Lord. I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, but I am confident, hallelujah, who's going to bring tomorrow. And Lord, I know it's going to be you. I know, again, as I sung Sunday, when the world's on fire, I want God's bosom to be my pillow. I want you to guide me, oh thy great Jehovah. Rock of ages, cleft for me. First word, it was a forgiving cry. Second word was a favoring cry. Third word, I call it a family and friends cry. Now, this is me. This is my preaching, my teaching. You tag it how you want to tag it. You do it the way you want to do it, all right? This is just what I saw. All right, here it is. He looks down from the cross and he says, woman, behold thy son. Son, behold thy mother. Well, who was he talking to? I'm glad you asked. He was talking to Mary, his mother. Well, he didn't say mother. Why not? Because there was 2 things that Jesus was concerned about. He was concerned about, 1, protecting her, and he was concerned about, 2, providing for her. So when he speaks to her out of protection. When he speaks to John out of provision. Watch this. He says woman. He doesn't say mother. He doesn't say Mary. He says woman. Now that term woman was a term of endearment, but it was also, from a psychological perspective, it was his way of getting her attention without calling her out. Because he's dying on the cross, surrounded by this mad mob, diabolical crowd. So Jesus didn't know. At any moment, somebody could have screamed, that's his mother, and could have hurt or harmed her too. So he doesn't want to put his mother in danger. So he says, woman. And he says, behold thy son. Then he looks over. Now who's the son he's talking about? The son he's talking about is John. Well, why would Jesus want John to now be her son? Because based on biblical commentary, at this point, Mary's earthly husband had died. Yeah, Joseph is off the scene now. So Jesus knows that without him being there, he needed somebody to take care of mother. So he calls a woman to protect her. But then he says, son, behold thy mother. He talks to John because he wants John to have the accountability and the responsibility. He holds John accountable, but wants him to be responsible for his mother. He says to his mother, in my absence, I'm leaving somebody present. In my absence, I'm leaving somebody present. Woman, behold thy son. All right? Behold your provision. Son, behold your mother. Got one more thing to tell you. Jesus peruses the crowd. I made a note of something. he peruses the crowd. And as he peruses the crowd, he notices that for the first time, Peter's not there. James not there. I'm just looking like I'm Jesus. I'm just looking. All right. Andrew's not there. Philip's not there. Bartholomew, oh, he's not here. James the Less, not here. Simon's not here. Judas not here. He looks down and sees John. Now, everybody know the triad, the three that Jesus always had with him, Peter, James, and John. He looks down and sees John. John and Peter has always been my personal favorite disciples. And I won't go into a long dialogue, but I'll just take 30 seconds to this. This is what I love about John. Because, God Almighty, I have a saying, and everybody that's close to me know that I say this all the time. There is no ship like friendship. When Jesus looked down from Calvary, Jesus noticed his friend John. It's something about that friend that will follow you to Calvary. See, some people will walk with you when you're winning, but won't be there when you're losing. They'll be there when you're up, but won't be there when you're down. They'll be there when you got money, but won't be there when you broke. They'll be there when they're riding in your car, but won't be there when your car in the shop. They'll be there when you're healthy, but won't be there when you're sick. They'll be there when you got it, but won't be there when you need it. Let me say it again. Some friends will be there when you got it, but won't be there when you need it. They'll be there when you're laughing, but can't handle it when you're crying. They'll be there, see, when you're going through your triumph, but won't be there when you're going through your triumph. They'll be there in your worship, but may not be there in your worry. Some friends will stand with you when you're right and don't want people to know that they know you when you're wrong. See, I'm a different kind of friend. I'm that friend that when the building is burning and everybody else is running out, I'm that friend that'll run in. I believe that there's no ship like friendship. And when Jesus looked down at the foot of the cross, he saw John. He saw the one disciple that risked his own life to be at the foot of his cross. And I don't know about you all today, but I'm gonna tell you something. I know I gotta hurry. Listen. I hope I get through this, but please know this: whatever you do, I don't care if this broadcast was to go off right now. Hear this right here. Know that Dreyfus Cortez Smith told you this. Know that I told you this. One of the greatest lessons you will ever learn. Thank you, Holy Ghost. Because this is something God taught me. And I learned the hard way, but I learned this. One of the greatest lessons that you'll ever learn. Make sure you learn the difference between Judas and John. Because both of them will walk with you. Both of them will sup with you. Both of them will eat with you. Both of them will travel with you. Both of them will be present with you. But one will betray you. And one will be at the foot of your cross. It was a forgiving cry. It was a favoring cry. It was even a family and friend cry. Let me hurry. Since he came to get these in. Forsaken cry. Now, if I was on stage producing this next word, I would cut the lights down. I would darken the music. Ooh. Listen. Because right here, the whole story shifts. See, Father, forgive them. That's cute. That's nice. That's hey, today thou build me in paradise. Hey, that's something, you know. Think about it. Mother, behold your son behold your mother. But when he get to word number 4, you all see, I can't hardly stay in my seat. When we get to word number 4, he says, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, which is interpreted to mean, my God, why have thou forsaken me? What makes this word so awesome? One, it's the only word out of the 7 words that he says twice. He says, Father, forgive them one time. He says, thou build me in paradise one time. He says, Mother, behold thy son one time. He says, I thirst, one time. He says, it is finished, one time. He said, into thy hands I commit my spirit, one time. But on word number 4, that mid word. Oh, now some of y'all don't know this. I'm getting excited when I get through. That first word he said, that was probably around 9 o'clock. I know some of y'all don't know this. That second word he spoke, that was probably around 10. That third word he spoke, that was probably around 11ish. All right? That fifth word he spoke, that was around 1. That sixth word he spoke, it is finished, that was around 2. See, that last word he spoke, that was somewhere between 2:15, 2:30, 3. When he got to that fourth word, you ready? That was noonday. He was in, watch this, he's the man in the middle of it. He in the middle of it. The man in the middle is in the middle of it. He's in the middle of 7 words. If you got 7, now listen, you don't have to be a mathematical genius. If there's 7 numbers, 4 is the middle number. You got 1, 2, 3 right here. You got 5, 6, 7. 4 is in the middle. When he got to that fourth word, he shifts. He's in the middle of it. And in the middle of it, watch this, he becomes, you hear more of his humanity than you hear his divinity. In the middle of it, he's more man than he is God. He says, Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? Can I tell y'all something? I want every preacher to listen to this. You ready for this? I'm getting excited. I'm sorry. On that first time he talked to God, you know what he called him? You ready for this? Lord have mercy. The first time he called him, you know what he said? He said, Father, forgive him. Because see, he prayed 3 prayers. Y'all do know that, right? Okay, let me give you this. Okay, come on, come in. Lean in, lean in, lean in, lean in. Let's go to school. Let's go to seminary. He prayed 3 prayers. The first prayer, Father, forgive them. They don't know what to do. Okay. The last prayer, into thy hand I commit that spirit. All right. The second prayer, Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani. What's the difference? Okay. First prayer, Father, forgive them. They don't know what to do. The third prayer, into thy hand I commit my spirit. Father, into thy hand I commit my spirit. But look at that second prayer. Look at that middle prayer. Look at that prayer at 12 o'clock. I'm just lean back for a second. I wish I had time to just lean back for a while. That second prayer, get what he said in that second prayer. He ain't calling Father. Y'all don't even know that. He ain't calling Father. He ain't calling Daddy. He ain't calling Abba. He said, my God, my God. Listen, he done went from sonship to servant. He said, Lord, I don't even feel like a son right now. I feel like a servant. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? My sisters and brothers, why would Jesus ask such a profound, such a perturbing, perplexing, rhetorical question from God? Let me just put this in front of me because I know I'm running out of time. Listen, y'all, listen. Because this was the first time in his 33-year journey, wrapped up in this human body, this was the first time that he feels 100% more human than divine. Yeah. See, listen. When he finally get to that 6th word, when he say, I am finished, that's his daddy side. But when he say, why hast thou forsaken me, that's his mama's side. Y'all know he had 2 sides, right? He had the human side and the divine side. He had the side that was birthed in time and the side that came out of eternity. Y'all ain't following me. So when he says, why hast thou forsaken me, see, he's talking like we talk. Because see, at that moment, every sickness is on him. Every disease is on him. Every sin is on him. Every burden is on him. Every weakness, every failure, every frailty. And so the humanity side of him couldn't take it. He was convulsing. And then watch this. He's so anointed. You got to remember now, you got all this sin on him. But wait a minute. There's still no sin in him. So because he got sin on him and don't have sin in him, he's at a crossroad. He says, my God, Why hast thou forsaken me? Now, most theologians would tell you this. Some say it's legendary. Some say it's historical, but it is. They said that at that moment, around noonday, when all the sins and all the disease had got on Jesus, that's when God turned away. And Jesus felt the turn. He felt disconnected. When he said, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? You know what he was really saying? He said, I'm experiencing a power outage. Oh, what happened? What happened? He couldn't feel it. He couldn't feel it. It was a forsaken word. That word, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? That word forsaken means to abandon or to leave alone or to leave by oneself. Jesus says, why are you leaving me out here by myself? I'm doing your will. Why are you walking away? Because it feels like you just walked away. Feel like you just turned. And when you truly been anointed, how much time I got? When you truly been anointed, listen, see, some of y'all sing and you sing cute. Some of y'all preach and you preach cute. Some of y'all dance and you dance cute. Some of y'all serve and you serve cute. Baby, let me tell you something. Bro, let me tell you something. When you truly been anointed, you know when he with you and when he not. You know when you feel him and when you don't. I can prove it. I can prove that was his situation. How can you prove it? Woo, Lord, I can prove it here. Because the first word was forgiving. The second word was favoring. The third word was family and friend. The fourth word was forsaken. It was a forsaken cry. But look at the fifth word. The fifth word sets us up to back up everything I just said. The fifth word, for the first time in his earthly ministry, you know what Jesus said? He said two words that sums it up. He said, I thirst. He said, I thirst. It was a fervent word. It grabs hand with words 4 and word 5. The fourth cry and the fifth cry hold hands. They could be twins. They could walk in there together. They cousins. They related. Why? He says, I thirst. Listen, when he says I thirst, he wasn't saying I want water. He wasn't saying I want juice. He wasn't saying I want wine. He didn't need Gatorade. Come on, somebody up in here. He was saying spiritually, I'm depleted. I'm dehydrated. I don't feel my anointing. I don't feel the Eliapha. I don't feel the wind of God. I don't feel the breath of God. I don't feel my power source. I'm thirsty. And my sisters and brothers, let me tell you something. Somewhere between the womb and the tomb, even somewhere between the womb and the tomb, you too ought to get thirsty. You ought to want more power. I've been locked in my house. You know, everybody's complaining about it's a shut-in. We can't go nowhere. Let me tell you something. I've had some of the best times of my life, just me and the Lord. I done cried, I done prayed, I done shouted, I done sung, I done laid out before him. I done got up at 3, 4 in the morning talking to him. I done laid back down. I done wrote sermons. I done had revelations. Y'all sitting around complaining. I tell you what, just why don't you have an I thirst party? Just start crying out to God. Because when this season is over, and this season going to be over, and when this storm passes, it's going to pass. And when this virus is gone, or at least when we contain it and there's a vaccine, guess what? There's a whole world out there waiting on somebody who, when they was on lockdown, got thirsty. Because once you get thirsty, once you cry out to God that you thirsty, then the only thing left is for him to fill you. Watch this. I'm thirsty. That's all it is. Once you get thirsty, it won't be water. Once you get thirsty, then God can fill you. God is not trying to pour into vessels that's not crying out to be filled. God ain't trying to use people who not asking to be used. I want God to send me. I want God to take me. I want God to stand me. Whew. So in the darkest hour, I understand when Jesus said he was thirsty. Let me move on. He said he's thirsty. He was for the first time acknowledging that he's at the lowest spiritual point of his life. My sisters and brothers, he was too tired to go on. But guess what? He was too anointed to quit. Let me say it again. Man, I want to run so bad, but y'all wouldn't see me. Here it is. He was too tired to go on. But you know, the only reason why there's a sixth word is because the fifth word proved that he was too tired to go on, but the sixth word proved that he's too anointed to quit. And I want to tell somebody that's watching me right now, don't you quit now. Don't you quit. You too anointed to quit. You too gifted to quit. You're too talented to quit. Your testimony is too powerful to quit. Your prayer life has been too great to quit. God has been too good to you to quit. It's too much in you for you to quit. You got CDs you haven't recorded yet. You got books you haven't penned yet. You got revivals you haven't run yet. There's a church you haven't pastored yet. There's a witness you haven't shared yet. God almighty, there's a miracle you haven't received yet. There's greatness you haven't exuded yet. Don't quit. That sixth word is a finishing word. He says 3 words. It is finished. That word finished from the word teleste. It means it is completed. It means check it off. So what did he finish? He finished. He finished redemption. Finished. Restoration. Finished. Renewal. Finished. Regeneration. Finished. The main mandate of why he came. You ready? Salvation. Finished. Power over sickness. Finished. Power over sin, finished. Power over demonic activity, finished. Being able to speak those things that aren't as though they are, finished. A faith that'll move mountains, finished. He finished it. He finished it. In the laboratory of redemption, he finished it. He finished it so that, guess what? So now they can take our brown bodies. See, he took us, dipped us in red blood, brought us out whiter than snow, and said, finish. We finished. Because he finished it, trash can be treasure. Because he finished it. That of no value, that people have thrown away is now in the showroom window because he finished it. Because he finished it. A drunkard can be converted to be a deacon because he finished it. A sinner can end up being the greatest saint because he finished it. A drug addict can come down to church saying, saying, if you can't get me higher than the Holy Ghost, I don't want it. Finished it. Because he finished it. A prostitute can come off the corner and say, can't nobody do me like Jesus. Because he finished it. God Almighty. A drunkard could stagger in, throw down the bottle, whatever he's drinking, and say, this joy I have, the world didn't give it to me, and the world can't take it away. And somebody look over and say, what's wrong with him? Child, I thought you knew. He finished it. He finished it. So y'all sitting around talking about, you worried about catching the virus. Let me tell you something. I don't know about catching it, but I know what caught me. I don't know about catching it, but I know what caught me. The power of salvation, his blood, finished it. God Almighty, he finished it. He finished it. It was a forgiving cry, a favoring cry, family and friend cry, a forsaken cry, a fervent cry, a finishing cry. And the same thing I got to do in just a few minutes. A farewell cry. Watch this, church. First prayer, he says, Father. Second prayer, he says, my God. The last prayer, he goes back to what? Father. He went from sonship to servant to sonship. I don't know who I'm talking to, but guess what? finish strong. I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. I ain't got to go to my car. I don't have to leave. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go downstairs, cut on my television, and find something to watch in a few minutes. Listen, I got to get out of here. But listen, he says, into thine hand, Father, into thine hand I commit my spirit. That term, commit, that's a banking term. You know what I mean? It means I'm getting ready to deposit my spirit. Yeah, I'm getting ready to make a deposit. He says, hold this for me. He said, Lord, watch this. He said, God, this is what I'm getting ready to do. I'm going to take my last breath. And when I breathe out, I'm going to breathe in. And when I breathe out for the last time, Daddy, this is what I want you to do. Catch it for me. And I want you to hold it all day on Frightening Friday. And I want you to hold it all day on a sad Saturday. And I want you to hold it. And God, listen, it can be 4 o'clock or 4:30. It might be 5 or 5:15. It might be 5:30 or 6. But somewhere between, I don't know. I believe somewhere between 4 and 6. I need you to do me one favor. Between 4 and 6, throw it back at me. And when you throw it back at me, I'm going to inhale it. And all the record going to show is that early Sunday morning, I got up with all power in my hand. He said, it is my farewell cry. In other words, come on. Now, guess what, church? Guess what? Do I have 5 minutes? Guess what? Guess what? Can I tell you a theory something people don't talk about? Everybody, you know, based on the facts, based on the record of time, based on time's record, right? The Pharisees, the Sadducees, the scribes, all of them guilty. Judas, guilty. The Roman soldiers, guilty. Pilate, all of them guilty. They're guilty. The mob crowd, all of them guilty. Let me tell you something. To be honest with you, they didn't have the power to kill Jesus. Jesus said, no man take my life except I lay it down. He took his last breath, held it, made his own heart stop beating. God Almighty. Because remember, he's not only the creature, he's the creator. So the creature tells the creator, hold me. And then Sunday morning, he got up. Do you know what that tells us? That tells us that even when the world thinks it's over for us, it ain't over till he says over. We all have the power to rise again. My sisters and brothers, I thank y'all so much for tuning in and for allowing me to come into your home from my little house, my little abode. And thank you so much for just spending a little time with me. I hope that what I said have inspired you. I hope that it motivated you. I hope it encouraged you, enhanced you, equipped you. I was preaching so hard Sunday, got caught up in the spirit as I always do, because I wouldn't have a religion I couldn't feel. Hallelujah. And I was trying to tell everybody how to give and how to be a blessing and what to watch. I think I got a minute or two. My cousin is working. He's my producer tonight, so he's letting me know. Okay, I think I got a minute or two. So here it is. You can go to WOFATL.com and click on donate if you'd like to give a seed. If this word has blessed you. You see, I'm just trying to be a light in a dark hour, and I'm trying to hold up the bloodstained banner. So I need your donations to keep our ministry going, keep our ministry strong, and to keep me in a position that I can posture and to take position to take information, turn it into revelation, turn it into revelation that you can, by way of application, change your situation. So here it is. You can go to WOFATL.com and click donate, and you can give and see by that way. You can also download Givelify. That's Givelify. Give, Lify. Givelify. Just search for Wings of Faith Worldwide Ministries, and you can give by that way. You can also mail your checks to Wings of Faith, P.O. Box 425, Conley, Georgia, 30288. Wings of Faith, P.O. Box 425, Conley, Georgia, 30288. And let me give you different ways you can watch us. You can watch us live by going to our website, which was the WFATL.com. You can also watch us on YouTube channel. Now listen, we just hit YouTube. We're blowing them up. And we really need for you all to go and subscribe on that channel. So go and find us on YouTube. That'll be a really big blessing for me because I want to build up our YouTube station. So if you all wouldn't mind, it's Wings of Faith WWM. Wings of Faith WWM. That's our YouTube channel. And we just want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel. And you can also follow us on Instagram and also on Twitter at WFWMATL. WFWMATL. That's our Twitter handle. Listen, I'm thankful again that you allowed me to come into your house, from my house, House to House Connections, and to all my mothers, all my members, and to my youth department, all my babies, all my youth. Oh my God, I miss y'all so much. To my praise team, my choir, everybody, God bless you. And to our listening audience, I want to sign off by simply saying something that my mom told me year after year after year. And that was, if you be good to God, God will always be good to you. Be blessed now. Hey, do me a favor. Get up with me Sunday morning, 6 o'clock. I promise you I got a word. And then we'll come back at 9 o'clock. And me and the Lord will bless you again. God bless you. Be favored. Amen.